You say, well, you get it, well, you like a big bitch, big booty, big titties. I admit it. Big booty, big titties. I admit it. I'm a big motherfucker. I got them on the side. With my hand on the shooter. I lay them niggas back. Got something for them niggas that be got. I'm a bad motherfucker. I got them niggas back. Yes. Yeah. I like my girls, BBW.
You're listening to Mr. Legendary. And we back. We're going to go ahead and talk about today. Ooh, just saw that little Nets versus Golden State score. Nets is going crazy. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about submission. Something that I was submitted. There was a post. And there was a female asking for advice. And someone sent it to me. We're going to go ahead and basically dissect this, break it down, see if we can give this female some advice. And the post reads, I've been a quiet observer for some time. I truly need advice. I can't stop second guessing myself. I feel like I'm not as intuitive or strong when it comes to my relationship. I've been with a wonderful man for 7 years. I've never been in a relationship before him where I do not have to worry about cheating. Feels so good. When we met, he knew I wanted to get married at some point. I read this, but I never focused on that point. I never saw that. And that is very major in what we're going to discuss today. So I'm going to have to get back to that. He knew I wanted to get married at some point. 3 years in, he admitted he has never and will never want to marry anyone. He doesn't believe in it and apologized for misleading me. Conversely, he says he doesn't want to live without me. Other than marriage, we have a wonderful, passionate, loving relationship. I could bury my desire to wed and just give my all to the relationship. Maybe my thought that if a man loves you, he will want to marry you is erroneous. I wanted to read this whole thing and break it down when I'm done, but I have to stop because I'm going to have to just break it down as I'm reading it because there's some things in here I have to hit on. For one, let's go back to where was that when we met. He knew that I wanted to get married at some point. I didn't get to that point. But this woman is 42 years old. No, she's 49 now. And she's been in a relationship for 7 years. And she got with the man. Let me finish reading it first because I want to make sure I hit all the points. I'm 49 and feel silly saying my boyfriend, he's entitled to his desire not to marry. And I'm entitled to my desire to marry. I'm so confused. All right, that's all we need to get on. She's 49. When she met him, she was 42 years old. And she stated that he knew I wanted to get married at some point. I don't want to skip past the part where he basically lied about his desire and want to get married. I think that is terrible. One of the worst things you can do in a relationship is lie. We should not lie to people we want to be in a relationship with. We should not lie. You should tell the exact truth. Because when you don't tell the truth, you end up wasting 7 years. Exactly what I'm talking about right here in this post. This is exactly what I preach on. Not wasting each other's time. People don't have time to waste. Especially not 42-year-old woman because now she's 49 and writing on posts and asking people for advice at the age of 49. At 49, you should be giving advice. You should not need relationship advice at 49 years old. No one. I don't care who you are. You should not. And if you do not need to be dating or in relationships if you still need advice at the age of 49. That's one. Two, that was number 2 because 1 was do not lie. Do not waste people's time. But let's start breaking down this thing. She said he knew I wanted to get married at some point. At 42 years old, you should be going into a relationship saying, hey, I like you, but I need you to know up front, my goal is marriage. That is my goal. I have to be, if we're not married in the next, I'll be gentle and give it 2 years. If we're not married or on our way to the altar within 2 years, this will be ended. Period. At 42. And leave it at that. If he's not, well, people are gonna say, well, what if he decides to leave? Then he's not what you're looking for. Why would you want to waste time? Why would you want to waste 7 years with someone who doesn't even have the same goal as you? Would you want to be this person who's I'm 7 years in at 42, now I'm 49, with a guy who has no intention on marrying me and clearly is bothering her because she been with her for 7 years and is still messing with her. He told her 4 years ago he don't want to marry her. She waited 4 more years and said, oh my God, I'm hurting. Somebody help. Give me some insight. So this is going to be on this woman's mind. And unfortunately for her, at the age of 49, you should not be starting over. Like she said, I don't want to be 49 and saying my boyfriend. You shouldn't be that age and saying my boyfriend, but you shouldn't be 42 and not being clear on your goals. This is why I preached in my other video where we need to find people who want what we want. If my goal is to be in a long-term relationship, I need to find somebody who wants to be in a long-term relationship. Stop worrying about all the little things you have in common. Oh, he liked the color blue, or we have a great time in bed. That's not even, that type of things will come after the fact. The first thing we need to focus on, if my goal is marriage, do you want to be married? If my goal is to just be single and be out here in the streets, is that what you want to do? Because these things create these type of posts. I don't know if a lot of people that's going to be watching this video have heard of a company called Rent-A-Center. Let me give a quick explanation. Rent-A-Center is a place where you can go and basically rent to own, or you can rent to borrow furniture, household items, TVs, radios, anything. Rent-A-Center has got a bad name because of the way people use Rent-A-Center. People, especially in my community, our black people, abuse Rent-A-Center. They use Rent-A-Center. They go and they say, hey, I want this brand new living room set. And Rent-A-Center does this thing where they say, well, it's only going to be $20 a week. That's very enticing. And it's a low investment. They usually say $0 down. You just come in and make your first weekly payment. You pay $20 every week, and at some point, the couch will be yours. We'll go through contract and everything. And that sounds very enticing to short-term thinkers. I get this brand new freaking couch set. I get to have it. I get to use it. All I got to pay is $20 a week. That's nothing. Well, if you just stop for 2 seconds, you're already in the hole because he's already telling you that you're going to pay $80 a month. They just make it sound good by saying, oh, it's only $20 a week, not $40 every 2 weeks, not $80 a month, only $20 a week. And they say, oh, well, if you throw in this lamp, your payments will just be $25 a week. You know what I'm saying? You get matter of fact, we'll throw in the end tables, the center table, and the lamps. Just give us $30 a week, and it's all yours. You get a brand new living room. And don't get me started on TV, because we can just do the whole thing for $50 a week. They abuse Rent-A-Center because at some point, Rent-A-Center starts to charge interest. Rent-A-Center's purpose is if you don't have the money to go buy your own living room set up front, they give you 90 days. They'll have a couch. They'll have that living room set will be $800 in Rent-A-Center. You can buy it straight out the door for $800. Or you can do the basic, the payment plans where they give you 90 days. And they'll probably charge like a small, like $50 or something if you pay it off within the 90 days. The problem is once you get past 1 millisecond past the 90 days, interest automatically gets applied to it. Interest, 90 days. So what tends to happen is poor people, go to Rent-A-Center. They get these big expensive things and they don't look at the long term. They focus on right now. I'm getting a brand new couch right now. I don't care about how much it costs. I don't care about how many payments I'm making. I get a brand new couch set. I get a brand new bedroom set. I get a brand new washer and dryer. And they get these things, then they get past, they'll be paying on it for a year. Go to Rent-A-Center like, all right, I done paid my $20 a week, for a whole year. What we got left on it? Income tax just came. I got a little money. I'm trying to pay it off. It was $800. I think I done paid y'all like down there $900,000. I should be paid off, right? You go to Rent-A-Center, Rent-A-Center say, yeah, you still you made some pretty good payments. You've been on time. We love you. Your remaining balance is $2,000. What do you mean $2,000? I've been paying y'all for a year. Well, you can always bring the couch back. They will literally take the couch back at any time. Anytime you want, you can return the things to Rent-A-Center. And you're just done. It's no major contract, no credit hits or nothing. You just return the product and you're chalked on the investment. You're chalked on all the money you paid into that. I don't care if you paid over what it was worth. If it's worth $800, you paid $2,000, but you didn't finish paying it off, you do not own it. And you can give it back and you're just out of your $2,000. That's where Rent-A-Center gets a bad name, because people start saying, well, I paid all this money and I didn't even get it. Now the couch all raggedy and I don't even want it no more. Well, you literally chose this. You could have just paid it off in 90 days. You could have simply saved that $2,000 over that year, sat on some lawn chairs in your living room, and came and you could have bought 2 living room sets for the price that you just invested in this because you was impatient. Females like this, what tends to happen is she got into the Rent-A-Center contract. She jumped into the relationship. It was great up front. Oh my God, it's so awesome. I'm not going to go too hard with him. I'm going to tell him that at some point I want to get married. Just know that. She wasn't specific. She didn't give a lot up front. So now you got this relationship and you've invested time into it. You've put all this time. We'll give it to the 3-year mark. You're 3 years in. And this guy says, I don't want to get married. But now you done paid all this money for this couch. I done been paying on this couch for 3 years. Do I really want to chalk it up? Or do I want to keep paying on it, hoping I'm going to own it one day? Unfortunately, she decided to keep paying on it. With no ending to the contract in sight. She decided to keep paying on it. To the point to where now she's 7 years in to the payments. Don't know if she'll ever own the couch or not. And she's saying, well, what should I do? Should I back out now and chalk all my time? Or should I just keep sticking around and maybe just say, hey, I'm fine with never owning the couch? At 40, I expect this type of post from 25 and under. Age 25 and under, you're allowed to say stuff like this. You can get caught up in a Rent-A-Center scheme because it's upfront, it's short term, that's fine. But at 42 years old, you should know better. This is why channels like mine exist, because I want people to start learning this early. I want people to start sitting back and looking at these life decisions early and saying, do I really want to go past my 90 days? She could have easily, at that 90-day mark, said, listen, the 90-day mark for Rent-A-Center should have been a 1-year mark for her. Where it's like, hey, either I own this couch now and pay it off while the bill is still doable, or I chalk it up and I back out. This is what we got to start doing. This is what Rent-A-Center was here for. It's for the people who you can get that money in them 90 days. You can pay it off. You own it and you're done. You might have paid $50 interest because you got to use the stuff, but that's a small hit. Don't get 3 years in and you still wondering when the contract gonna end. But you don't want to get the furniture back because now you done had it for so long. You done put so much money into it. You don't know what to do with yourself because that's where she at. She don't know what to do with herself. But at least with Rent-A-Center, 3 years in, you don't own it. You know what? I'm done with it. I'm just buying a new couch. I'll take the L. At 49 years old, you're not just taking no L and saying, I'm going to jump back on this market and go get me a young tenderoni and move on. It's tough. Time is taken for all of us, men and females. Time is taken for us. Do not get caught up in these schemes. Use them time wisely. Speak to people clearly up front. If your goal is marriage, make sure within that first year, we need to be ring shopping. We should have already talked to a wedding planner. We should have already looked at 3 different venues on where we're going to have this place at a year in at 42 years old. We should already, at 43, we should already did all that. And we should be moving forward. Not 3 years in and you like, sorry, should have told ya, I want to get married. And you're going to be like this. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me where I went wrong. Just make sure if you're going to argue logic and not your feelings. I'm out.